Hello, hello, and welcome to Dissolve and Bloom, an experience of our exploration of creativity harnessed for planetary regeneration. Today, artists, musicians, ecologists, design scientists, and performers from all over the world will be sharing our visions of dissolving our separation from nature and blooming into regenerative and just futures. Like the mycelial interconnected network sporing out of the process of transformation, thank you for coming together virtually today to celebrate and catalyze change. This event is hosted by the Design Science Studio on the Vision Train, and we are an educational incubator for the art of the Regeneration.
We are in a time of radical systems change. Decades of over-industrialization, alienation from nature, and othering are some of the primary root causes of global inequity, illness, poverty, and environmental degradation. But it doesn't need to be this way. We can imagine a different future, and we always have. We're questioning our social and financial systems to create a new movement called the Regeneration. The time has never been more ripe as Buckminster Fuller's vision of the design science decade is coming to life, with the vision to make the world work for 100% of life in the shortest possible time through spontaneous cooperation without ecological offense or disadvantage to anyone. The Design Science Studio's goal is to make art that changes history. We're creating a new narrative. Art and storytelling transform entire societies, from the gay rights movement to Black Lives Matter. Art can create a measurable change through defining our collective story. It's time for art that changes history.
And so this is why we created the Design Science Studio. We created a place, a decade-long anticipatory art and design-driven accelerator to inspire a future that works for all life and empower global creators, systems thinkers, organizations, and initiatives to work together to imagine, collaborate, and create a regenerative future. And so our goal is to help shift culture. And we aim to be the seeds of a revolution that reimagine life on this planet.
And every revolution starts with a story. The beginning of every movement happens when we start to talk about it. We're here to support and scaffold the visioning of a regenerative movement, a movement rooted in shifting from me focus to we inclusive, moving towards adaptation and complexity, and learning from our living systems and their interdependence that fuels all life.
We are at a critical tipping point, and we have the choice as a species to work together to move towards protopian future and regenerate our futures. And so with the Design Science Decade and our collaborators and partners and all of the artists, we are moving in this most concentrated transition that we have ever experienced. We know that we have made all the right tools for all the wrong reasons, and we have what we need to shift to a world that works for 100% of life. And so we work to move through these phases to regenerate and celebrate and restore and reconcile, because the future is always first an idea. And today we will experience those ideas come to life. So thank you so much for coming together. These artist salons provide a sneak peek into the multidimensional power of the projects, of the artists, the developmental experiences, and they serve as an invitation for any interested participants to opt in and join the mission, to collaborate and co-create and catalyze a future that works for all. We want to thank the whole creative team that came together to make this possible, and a Spaceship Earth crew that is the foundation of the Design Science Studio. Thank you all so much. And thank you to all our partners and friends, community organizers who helped to get the word out. We are so grateful. And with that, we will hand it over to our master of ceremonies, Jurgis.
Thank you, Jurgis.
Hey, lovely human beings. How are you all doing? You feeling good? You doing good? Let me put the gallery view on here so I can appreciate all your beautiful faces. Lovely. I even got a couple of smiles back. Lovely. Mark, Strupi. Wow, Wow, so many good friends. Roland, hey, hi. We will be holding space for an extended period of time. And when we've done this on previous occasions, one of the things that we have learned is that visual feedback is extremely important. So you don't have to have your cameras on all the time, but when you turn them on, be deliberate. Know that you are entering another person's visual reality through this dark eye right there. And so just to remind you how this is going to work, I'm going to ask y'all just to come a little bit closer, come closer, closer. Nia, you too. Mwah. Let's start from a nice kiss. Yes, Harris got the kiss clearly. Very good. This is how we are affecting each other's mood. This is a demonstration that we are emotionally connected. And we, after the end of this long session, shall be more connected. Also getting a little bit better acquainted with what drives the different people in the studio and how we can collaborate to create, envision, and engineer a future that, as Roxy mentioned, works for 100% of life on Earth. And with that said, I would like to give the stage to Har Sur, a beautiful, beautiful being from the northern Siberian steppes, from Yakutsk, if I'm not mistaken. And she is half of Olox. And if you have experienced her before, you will know that she's a person which is not only deeply connected to something that eludes worldly description, but she also manages to connect us, the spectators, with that essence as well. And with no further ado, I would like to give her the stage, and if you are welcoming her, you can send love and support through visual signals such as this one.
Bu mannamustabut barang-orang kaitari paralarin algasta karista irasta bargatın ütüye künnen agardalibin ühe orto allara doydular gıt beğat iskitiger bu andoydu ürdünen kutput sürbüt kengen kühüren tarhanan ütüner ağallın ütüner ötüstätin arçılannın arangatçılannın algıstannın dom dom domini dom dissolve and bloom. Uruyay khalbolokton. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me for this beautiful event. And it's such an honor to present my Saka culture, which is in Yakutia. So Yurgi said Yakutsk. It's a capital. And I was born in a small village with 600 people. It calls Uskuele. And it's been wonderful time to come here to United States from my homeland, to leave my little nest and to share music and wisdom of ancestors. So Saka people, they're very survival and very strong because we have very long and dark and cold winters, such as -96. And we believe that if you face your fear, then you can survive, you can transform. So you take yourself out of comfort zone, and then that where the real transformation happens. So I came to United States 4 years ago, and through music, I opened up a lot of doors, and I witnessed so many people's transformation and awakeness. So, and recently, me and my team from New Mexico, we are opening, we're preparing to be a temple of shamanism and science, and we call that Kutsur. Kutsur, Temple of Shamanism and Science. Kutsur, it's a very deep shamanic philosophy coming from my homeland, from Saka culture, which means that everything has soul, everything is alive. So Kutsur, it's like a soul, but it has 3 spirits inside. Mother spirit, Yakut, which is related to ancestry and genes. I feel that we need to reconnect to our roots, to our ancestry, because I believe that everyone, without, not dependent from eye color or color of the skin or where we were born, we're all indigenous to Earth Mother. Spirit of air, Salgankut, it's unseen world. We believe that there are so many things around that our eyes cannot see. And this is magic. So when we believe in magic and we turn on our imagination, that was the only one entertainment for my people when they lived without electricity. They would gather around the fireplace and they would imagine, they would hear storytellings. So that this is very important, Salgankut. And the third one is Borkut, earth spirit, which is everything tangible, everything material. So our body lives in that realm. This is very important to take care of our body and everything physical. And to see that these 3 spirits in wholeness, it's very healthy. Some of them might be weak sometimes. That's why we get sick or we get, some hard time or some challenges. But that means we need to balance 3 spirits in my culture. And Sur, this is very important, the most important energy we believe, it's the ether. Sur, which holds all of these 3 spirits together. And sound actually can travel through any dimensions and through Sur. That's why in my shamanic cultures and in all the shamanic cultures around the world, sound is very important. Singing, art, music is very important, that it can travel to any dimension and bring back our soul grounded to the Borkut and also take it us to the journey. So it's very important to journey through many dimensions and always come back and center in ourselves. So therefore, I would love to, who are here, beautiful ones, today to open this beautiful space, this virtual space, which is another dimension. So, and it's very important to do some ceremonies to enter to this dimension, to honor this dimension, because this technology, it's very powerful that we can use for well-being of humanity and Earth. So I would love you to sing with me together right now, traditional song Toyuk, and the just, you know, you can turn on your sounds if you want, and let's sing collectively, like feeling your solar plexus with your breath. Take a deep breath in all together and say Jehe Boho, Jehe Boho Ho Ho. Those are very important sacred lyrics which opens up all three worlds with special sounds based on when you do you can feel it in your belly around your solar plexus. So in Saka language, we use a lot of sound. Okay, let's try it again. Take a deep breath in. Jehe boho, jehe boho ho ho. Good. So, and now let's weave this lyrics into melody, which is going to be like this. Jehe boho. So let's repeat after me all together. Take a deep breath in. Take another deep breath in. Once more. Now all together. At the same time, take a deep breath in again. Once more. Good. Thank you so much. And whenever you would like to feel connected to your ancestry, to unseen world and to material world at the same time, bringing them in wholeness, sing this song. This is gift from my ancestry, and this is opening the world of your improvisation, so you can take it from there and improvise wherever you are, in your home, in the nature. So feel this wholeness of everything, the wholeness of web of life, unseen web of life, that there everything is interconnected. So thank you so much for hosting me, songs of my ancestors, and please dissolve and bloom and take it in. Machtel.
Arsoor, thank you very much. So very, very, very lovely of you to share ancestral and probably, again, is it ancient, ancestral? I think it's ancestral in a way, also indigenous in many cases. But the case with this wisdom is that it belongs to all of us. And again, many people think that it's something that we have forgotten, something that we have a lost connection with. And so you really understand that one of the important things that has to occur here is that if we are to reconnect with the wisdom, we need to reconnect with those that are connected to that. But one of the things that I realized working with the indigenous communities in Colombia is that very often they have no prerogative to inform us, to tell us, to share with us when we have been disrespectful, when we have plundered, pillaged, and we have downright made fun of who and what they are. So this is a very curious conundrum we're in when we are accepting another person's connection or stronger connection to source. And we have to face these issues such as what is cultural appropriation? How exposed do I need to be to that source so that I can call it my own again? The only suggestion that I would share right now is that we're a little bit deliberate with it. If we are in a space of trust, and if someone abuses of that culture, that we can call each other out. And I think that is very important because in spaces like this, when I'm with, for example, Amanda Sage, when I'm with Roxy, I feel that I'm at home. And I feel that if I say something that is wrong, something that goes against or a little bit askew of the collective wisdom, knowledge, or what we are all fighting for, that we can call each other out and we can talk to one another very openly. So I would like to invite you all to be open in this space. And not only when you share, but also when you are a little bit critical of one another. Because only then will we truly be able to transcend a lot of the problems which have brought us here. And that is to really believe that we have to look at ourselves and look at our well-being before we look at the well-being of the whole. And I personally here, to be honest with you, I become a complete hippie. I forget who I am, and I'm just happy to be with all of you lovely people. Now, that said, amongst you, I have such a deep feeling of resonance that I sometimes feel that I can make your words my own. That I can make your words my own. And I think, Roxy, if you take that poem that we're supposed to recite and you put it in the comments right here, we can all recite it like we are a new Osho clan, like we are a new form of cult, but one that is also critical of everything that is happening. And to so avoid the pitfalls and perils of previous associations of spiritually enlightened warriors trying to do something positive for the world. So if you are not afraid to get a little bit wet with a little bit of collective hippiness from your own brethren and sisters, well, I think we can just put it up in the comments. Do you agree? And we can try and recite it. Are you up for this? All right. So in pure fashion, in the real fashion of pseudo-cultism, I invite you all to raise one hand. You can do this one. You can do this one. Whatever you can do this one. Whatever works for you. Whatever you're comfortable with. All right. And Roxy, maybe you can lead us through this as the high delegated priestess of this. I'll make the musical background. Ready? Here we go.
I love you. Okay. And this is an introduction, a welcome for us all. As the piece that we are about to experience, which was created by four brilliant beings, Sherry, Benjamin Lai, Turquoise, and Future Primitive. They have invited us as we enter this meditation to invite each other. We invite you to drop fully into the field of this meditation transition, allowing the field to tune you, and in turn allowing you to tune the field of our convergence here today. This toroidal process of exquisite harmonization is happening all the time around us with life. Now we are consciously engaging with this organic process to become an ever more aligned global community of practice, ready to lead with our uniqueness, develop emergent collective capacity, and feel the wonder of creation at the core of our beings.
Absolutely lovely. Absolutely lovely. And with no further ado, I would like to invite on stage truly exceptional. Are we actually going to have turquoise?
We're going to experience this meditation now.
We're going to experience the meditation. We're going to talk to them later. Is that right?
Yeah, after.
Okay, lovely. Okay.
Ready? This is so beautiful. Also, just to say, this was created, the Design Science Studio was invited with Gray Area to participate in UN SDG NFT drop that's a part of Doing Good, which is a hilarious name for a platform, but they are, in the scheme of things, doing pretty good. We are in this process of calling each other in as we are thinking critically together. But this is an emergent space, and we had an invitation to create art, and this is the art that this brilliant group of 4 beings created. So let us enjoy. Welcome.
Welcome. Tuning our bodies, our instruments, to the humming vibrations of life, to the rhythms and pulse of creation. First, tune in to your own inner presence, the inner vibrations that make up your unique expression, your unique gift, you as original medicine for a healing earth. Breathe into the still point within your body. You are an antenna receiving and beaming. Even as you hear sounds around you, seemingly from the outside, allow this field of intelligence to reverberate within you as you become even more aware of the unique note that you are. We are in the creation field, the sourcing field, the womb of life. We are tuning our instrument to the heartbeat of life, the earth's song, humanity's song, and your voice, your exquisite presence and essence has never been here before. And we need your note to join the celebration for collective thriving. Notice how every moment is an opportunity to tune our instrument, to drop into deeper trust of ourselves, a deeper love and appreciation of who we are and who we are becoming. This becomes an act of creation. Remember, know thyself. You are an ancient and future human, and know that you belong to this intimacy of life, the one and the many. Feel your own delightful vibrations emanating from within. As you gather in this gravity of awareness, you begin to open yourself more fully to feel the wholeness, the seamlessness of life, and this allurement of yearning to co-create with others in harmony. Struggle no longer belongs to this symphony of sounds. This emerging organic ecstasy, being fully present to life as a love story and to your perfect belonging in the harmony of the cosmos. Now feel the presence of others and their essences and their unique notes. Together, we are needed. Together, we awaken in beauty and truth and goodness. We are unstoppable as the heartbeat of humanity. Allow this realization to penetrate every cell in your body. Your body at the core of this fractal, connected to everyone who is here with us. This is the essence of a global coordination system where we are co-ordaining each other into our highest expression. Being able to play like a jazz ensemble, like an improv band for solutions and innovations and wise decision-making, all on behalf of the whole. Feel how we can synergize effortlessly when we welcome others in their uniqueness and we let them shine and we join together in this beautiful song. Always grounded in our note, our capacities from this place to listen, to welcome the newness and the new harmonies. This is innate and is our birthright. Our bodies, like vibrating antennae, for our most amazing expression as we co-create together a world that works for all. Repeat after me. I am fully present. I am listening to the wholeness around me. I belong in this song of life. We belong to this song of life.
We believe in the song of life. Turquoise Benjamin, how lovely to see you. It's curious because I'm more used to hearing you than seeing you. And when Roxy played this for me, it was curious because she says, it sounds like something you would do. And then I realized that we have been feeding each other ideas through the ping pong, the intellectual philosophical ping pong that is Clubhouse, all these visions. And so at some point you start realizing that it wasn't my idea at all. It was somehow incepted in these spaces where my voice becomes where your ideas becomes mine, where truly things become ours without property. We just feel that they resonate so deeply that you can't feel them as being something separate from your being. Benjamin, I think it's the first time I see you live on camera, to be honest, but we've chilled so much. I'm so happy to have you here, and also Sherry as well. Sherry, it's lovely to have you. I'd like to shoot one quick question for you, and I know that you're all very smart people, but about the importance of performance, of embodied art when it comes to invoking a new reality. And I know, Benjamin, you're really deep into that, and I know, Turquoise, you're deep into that, and I know that, Sherry, you're into that. So let's give you a couple of minutes to ping pong that question.
Yeah, I would love to invite Sherry to share about the process of transmission. I think one of the qualities of that embodied experience of the creative process is it's allowing yourself to receive the larger intelligence of life, and that process of letting go of the smaller self to receive something that's greater than we can possibly comprehend with our minds. And one of the things that was so special about this collaboration is once we laid the conceptual foundation and invited Sherry to channel what was written there, she was able to drop into that field of transmission, and so it comes through her as her. But yeah, I'd love for you to share a little bit about that, Sherry.
Oh, well, first I just want to say how I am in this, that life is art. So the experience of being in this field, this design science studio field, is felt within my body, and that meditation is still rippling through us. And that connection that Snow Raven was saying at the beginning about sound moving through dimensions and through anything, it's kind of like when we actually move out of our conceptual as the only way, because we love the conceptual, we love the ideation. But I believe that we're leaving behind the age of concept and we're entering into the age of embodiment, which is like whole new capacities for us. And that meditation we just listened to and that chanting, oh my God, is like, I just invite us to like keep tuning ourselves and dropping in more deeply, because if you didn't know this already, this is a good data point. You have within your body, talk about embodiment, 5 billion miles of DNA coil. So if you think that you've tapped into your greatest potential, I am here to remind you that there is so much more that we are doing together. And that's the other thing I just want to say is that when we do get out of our mind, like my experience lately has been of like it's a veil, the self-critical story, the mind saying you can't, it's not enough, or whatever the limiting beliefs are. And especially in the art of the act of creation, the minute you just kind of claim that as like a declaration and an invocation to yourself, there's like, whew, and the veil dissolves, and there we are in our creatorship.
So lovely. So lovely. Turquoise, it's lovely to see you as well. And I think we are all discovering, we are all learning, right? We're learning how to do this. This is a new craft. This is a new form of spell casting. This is us reconnecting with the oral tradition that is deep within. You know, songs that we've known for ages and we only know when we hear them off the lips of some other human being. And I'm absolutely delighted and really, really happy that now we have a person which I have not had the opportunity to interact too much with, but I'm really dying to, who also understands how this works, and that is Benny Oyama. And he is on stage with us right now. And I don't know if we will also have the fantastic The Empress on with us right now to do a little introduction, or will she come later?
I'm gonna share a song. Hi Benjamin, hi Turquoise, hi Sherry. Thank you, Jurgis. I think your meditation resonated with all of us so deeply, and I think we're all here because we know that we're in times of great change, and that change is, of course, internal and external. So I've dropped a song into the chat. I'd like everyone to sing it with me now that our instruments are well tuned, and with the knowledge and the intention that all of our voices are important as part of this celebration of coming together and coming alive.
I know I belong to you. You belong to me too. And I see the light in you's the light in me. Together for eternity. And the winds are changing. Everything that's true. I am reflecting back to you, and we are the winds that are changing.
So if you think you got it, please sing along with me.
I feel
What you feel too.
what you feel too.
I know that you feel me too.
I know that you feel me too. And the winds are changing.
I cry.
I cry when I need to heal inside.
The healing of the world is mine.
The healing of the world is mine.
And the winds.
And the winds are changing.
You are.
You are everything that's true. I am reflecting back to to you, and we are changing. I will try to understand the meaning of the cosmic plan, the meaning of the cosmic plan. And the winds are changing. Let me listen to you, babe. Let it out like summer rain. And the winds are changing. You are everything that's true. I am reflecting back to you, and we are the winds that are changing. Ooh. And we are the winds that are changing. Yes, we are. I'd like to introduce a really special person now who you may or may not have met here. The Empress is a dynamic social sculpture practitioner. Diane is invested in regenerative artivism for belonging, advocacy, and placemaking for African heritage diaspora communities. Diane works into the unknown using the imagination. So keep this train rolling. Please warm welcome as your sister, as we're all here, brothers and sisters, in this beautiful missional exchange. The Empress, evoke.
Greetings, greetings all.
Hello.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Benny, for that beautiful, very, very comforting offering. Thank you. Beloveds, we're gathered here today to connect, to weave, to explore, to engage. I would love to share with you some poetry, autoethnographic explorations deep within. I call this the Poetics of the Urban Indigene. It's from a book I have published called Evoking Belonging. There will be more about this work as we go, but for now, I would first like to start with an offering evoked by the beautiful snow raven, the ancestral call. I say, for all those in whose footsteps I find my own, this be an offering. For all those who will search for their footprints in my own, this be a devoted calling. For all those who in this moment shape footprints of sovereignty, this be an expression of poetic solidarity. Ashe. The next poem I'll read is The Urban Indigene. The urban indigene, I come. Land sprung, I come. Searchlights flash them searching. Heartbeats rapid slash. Romantic reverie. Shore-lined ecstasy. Searchlights flash them. They searching. Simia, I come hot. Poetic. High octane fire blood. Hot. Earth strong. The urban indigene. Land sprung, I come. Ocean forms draw back, insistent that pull, insistent land sprung, I come. Broken mirrors, trade-ins, beaded sweat lines, symphony, the restive clarion call. They place me native, origin, landed. Misty dawn laces midnight griot voices, for accents they sing, being the urban indigene. I come, land sprung, I come, the urban indigene. I come barefoot, thirsty, urban indigene, sing it with me. I come barefoot, testy, the urban indigene. I come barefoot, vigilante, excavating indigenivity, land sprung, I become. Thank you. This collection of poems is separated into three spaces: the ancestral calling, home, hearts, and also hope, which is the third part. So I'll now read a short poem called Tidal Waves. This is from Home. Tidal waves, crossing lines, waves of triangular ancestry, trace bridges to deep censored ecology. Threading mournful soliloquy, Ubuntu pearls, corset collective memory. A history of othering, negation of being, souls adrift, no anchoring. Tidal waves under crescent moon. Ashe. It's a bit strange here because I can't see anyone, but I can feel you. I can feel you. So this one, still in the same space of home, is like songs souls sing. I offer this as a heart salve for what can be really deep, ancestral, intergenerational trauma. That 5 billion miles of DNA encoding is what I'm unraveling through this autoethnobiographic poetic exploration. This be my offering as a heart salve. Like songs souls sing, you say, my being envelops you like ancient arias swirling, heady rhythms ascending, oceanic, raptured imbibing. Heartful be my liberty offering, like songs souls sing. Like songs souls sing, whispers carried, scenting warm, lilting winds. Like songs souls sing, those imbibing dreams, conjuring beings. Like songs souls sing. our giving, our receiving, honey-laced cicatrice, sensory imagining, tracing delicate patina over oceans onto skin. You say my being envelops you. Heart anchoring be my offering. Like songs, souls sing. Like songs, souls sing. Like songs, souls sing. Ashe. Thank you. Thank you.
Like songs, so sing.
Ashe, ashe,
Like
ashe.
songs, so sing. Like songs, so sing. Like song. You know, I have a lovely voice, but I know there's much lovelier voices in this group. If someone else wants to pick it up and co-create for the next 30 seconds, the floor is open. Like songs, so sing.
Like
who's
songs,
picking it
so
up?
sing. So sing.
Like
songs, so sing. So we are singing songs. Songs, so sing.
Let the soul sing.
Song soul sing.
For a song impresses his song.
Beautiful. It's so amazing. You people are definitely of a very, as we would say in Colombia, you're cut of a different cloth. It's so beautiful, you know, like somebody starts singing, everybody comes into like this resonant frenzy, like, I want to sing to rah. And the voices are actually beautiful and people are actually listening. Isn't that wonderful? I know that there are many musical people in this space who know how difficult it is to deal with people who have not, who just don't appreciate, who don't hear, who don't listen between the lines, who don't appreciate the silence between notes. And I think that's some of the most important thing that differentiate us, just between us here, the secret cult sect that we are building from the rest of the world. And I have made some very dear friends in this space, and one of them is Harris, with which we are yet to make musical collaborations. And when I read her description, her blurb, I said, is that really Harris? Again, you are an ephemeral, amorphous being of creativity which cannot be pinned down by words or some form of descriptions. You are raw creativity. You're absolutely brilliant and amazing, and everything I've seen you do is just warms my soul. But that was just me expressing love because the person who's going to introduce you is actually Diane. I just couldn't help myself. I'm sorry.
We will have so much love to express. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you for the beautiful comments. Thank you, Yurgis. And it is my pleasure, my joy to introduce Harris Adele, a multi-dimensional storyteller. And listen to this, creative coherence consultant. We all love that. She works at the intersections of immersive art, social and environmental justice, and experiential design. Welcome, Harris.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Harris Adele Petrones, and a long time ago, a very old plant told me that I was a multidimensional storyteller. I'm sure you're wondering what that even means, and trust me, I get it. Plants love a good riddle, and sometimes it takes years to understand what they mean. At least it has for me. It turns out this job title was one of those plant riddles and has become way more than a job title. it has become a quest that I'm still on today, that has shaped the way I think, the way I work, the way I imagine and dream and live. It's a quest that has led me to all kinds of wild and wonderful places and characters. A quest that led me, in fact, to the Design Science Studio and onto the screen today to share with you all. Thank you so much for being here to listen to this multidimensional story. A long time ago, but not quite as long ago as when the plant gave me the job title, an even older plant told me about a place. And when you guessed it, it turns out the place wasn't exactly a place. I told you, plants love a good riddle. The even older plant told me that this place was neither here nor there, that it was betwixt and between, that it was under our feet, but also in our bodies, and also all around and within us. The plant told me that this place is called the Garden of Infinity, and that in this place there live 13 characters who aren't exactly characters. The plant said that these characters have names but aren't people. They have many mouths but a single voice, many forms but a single body. They are 13 uniquely different beings, but have never been separate from each other. The plant said that they wanted to share their stories with me, and that as long as I listened closely to their stories with my whole heart, that I could share them with the world. I'm not one to turn down a mystical quest from a magical plant. And so for the past 7 years, that's exactly what I've been doing. I've been listening with my whole heart to hundreds of stories. And today, I'd like to share just one of many stories from one of many characters with you. An ode from a character named the Decomposer. So who is the Decomposer? The Decomposer is the archetypal essence of decay. You can meet the Decomposer in the mycelial networks under your feet, in the vultures flying overhead, in the bacteria in your gut, and in the many wonderful fungal friends we know and love. The Decomposer is the essence of compost and speaks to us when it's time to break things down, lay them to rest, and regenerate new life from what is ready to complete its life cycle. But first, to be able to hear their story, I need to take you
very vibrant.
to put yourself on mute.
Very like, I was just kind of.
But first, to be able to hear their story, we need to get quiet. So I need to take you to where they live in the Garden of Infinity. So you're invited to sit back, relax, and journey to the realm of the Decomposer. Take a moment to close your eyes and take some slow, deep breaths. For the Decomposers live in the dark underneath of things, the below between spaces, the silent, still, deep belly breathing places. Down, down, down. Down below your feet, past layers of concrete and stone, into the moist, rich, cool underbelly of the earth. There's a teeming city of millions of decomposers doing what decomposers do best, breaking it down. If you get low and quiet enough, you can hear them telling their stories or singing them, or sometimes slamming them beat poetry style, or sometimes simply speaking them in a language older than time throughout the Garden of Infinity. Ah, I can hear one now. Let's take a listen. But remember, to hear their story, you must listen closely and with your whole heart. When you've been laid in the bed of earth, who do you think returns you to you? Slowly and slowly, we remove the parts that no longer serve. All of the sum of its parts return to the parts. No more whole, no more worry, no more concern over what is and what was and what could ever have been. Don't worry, you'll be, you'll be, you'll be. It's really so easy when you relax, when you release, when you surrender. You don't have to work anymore. We gently in our little hands remove everything, that embarrassing feeling when you were 12, that wonderful triumph after college, on your wedding day, a lost job, a war, an infidelity, a disaster, lost money. What money? A birth, a death, a birth, a death. You don't have to carry it anymore. We'll carry it for you. For a moment anyway, as we take it out and away, out and away. You don't need it anymore. We don't need it anymore. We'll plant all the parts of you here and there and here and there and there and there, until with every planting, you'll bloom anew. And we'll watch you and tend you and honor you. In the beginning, there was nothing. There was just the ebb and flow of the cosmic ocean. Before even time awoke, there was nothing. And what a great gift. What an absolute honor it is to return you back to the nothing again, where you don't have to be anything but the ebb and flow until you decide to be something more. And when you decide, it'll be ready. All the parts that have been laid to rest, we're watching them for you. We're tending them for you. All of the atoms return to the ocean. All of the atoms return to the what was, are waiting to become the what will be. In the darkness of the void, all possibilities exist. In this field of pure potential, there is rich compost, dark soil ready to be planted with the seeds of what is to be. Your vision, presence, and noticing crystallize this new reality into seeds. I invite you to look around with your eyes closed first into this darkness, knowing that the future is always first a feeling, a sensation, a glimmer. I invite you to plant the seeds of what is to be into this fertile darkness. What whispers of what is to become do you hear? What glimmers of the new world do you notice? What do you see? What do you feel? What conversations do you overhear? What smells are wafting through the breeze? Take a moment to explore the landscape of what is emerging, allowing yourself to open as a vessel to this new world birthing into being through your ability to imagine it, feel it, and sense it. And as you open your eyes and come back into the room, know that this new reality already exists deep within your heart. And that as you listen and move and create and dance and connect here today and beyond, know that you are a living seed, a guardian of our regenerative future blooming into being. And so I leave you all with a quest. Fertilize these seeds by sharing your vision with another guardian of our regenerative future here today. Nurture these tender sprouts with your art, your conversations, your creative practice. Tend this soil by continuing to dream, create, and imagine. Together, we can end the war on imagination, one creative act at a time. Thank you all for your listening ears. You can follow your curiosity and learn more about the Garden of Infinity by following me on Instagram. I'll drop it in the chat.
Dissolve and bloom. My dear Harris, I still have to disagree with you. I don't think you're a multidimensional storyteller. I mean, you're a downright intergalactic multidimensional poet. That was poetry to my ears. You put me in under a spell. That was so beautiful. It's so lovely. And it actually addresses one of those very deep fears we have, like what happens to us when we die. Like they ask what happens to the fear the river feels when it comes to the ocean or to the sea. To ask, do we remain ourselves? And that certainty that we will not only remain ourselves, but we will actually become more ourselves when we dissolve and bloom into something new. Mwah. That's so beautiful. And now we have Roxy with us, who's going to introduce a person who's very dear to her. So I'm going to keep my lips closed and sealed. And let you take over, my dear.
Well, first, I will honor Sweet Harris again. Thank you, brilliant being, for trusting that vision, and for hearing it, following it, and that it brought you here. Gift. This earth. And I look forward to seeing this project continue to take root in all of its different forms across interactive art worlds and oracle decks and so much more. And as a perfect and beautiful segue, I get to introduce one of my best friends for so long. We have known each other since we were but wee sprouts in Tennessee. My dear friend, Victoria Fillmore, who is an inspiration. Victoria is a tried and true community herbalist whose entire business has been built upon making remedies for any and everyone who came to her in need, including me. Her passion lies in seasonal and bioregional medicine, with the belief that what you need is already out there waiting when you need it. In Victoria's words, knowing what's beneath your feet, what to nibble on, and how to use it is not only a birthright, but a superpower we all have access to. She has created Cedar Hill Homestead. It is a curated blend of handmade items that reflect her life as a homesteader and an herbalist. And in her words, when homesteading, you rely on your land for everything. And this creates the most beautiful reciprocal connection to nature she has ever seen. If you are interested in learning more about how to steward the area that you reside, look to a local homesteader to learn more about the ethnoecology of that area, which is what Tori will share with us today. Welcome.
Thank you. I do feel like that was such a good segue, and I really loved everything that was said just a moment ago. So yay, I'm excited to get to share after that. All right, so yes, I'm Tori. I'm an herbalist and the creator of Cedar Hill Homestead and Apothecary. My homestead is located in Tennessee in the South, and so a lot of my inspiration here in the South comes from the origin of place, the history here, especially within people's relationship to nature. And that's really what ethnoecology is observing over time way people interact with their environment, and not just the nature within our environment, but as society grows and we have to adapt and the plants have to adapt. So within my homestead here, we have our chickens and our goats, which help feed our compost and help till the soil before gardening. And when weeding out our garden beds, we get to give those more invasive, nutritious herbs back to them, and then they feed us with eggs, milk, and meat. The South is a really special place because these types of practices are not uncommon, nor are they new ideas at all. Part of the beauty here is that this exact way of living is how folks have survived here from the beginning of time. And though we can say that about a lot of places, there are a few places in the South that are still doing it as much as we are here today. Herbalism and permaculture in the South has just been historically a part of life and a means of survival in an area that's been a little more forgotten by society. We have had to grow our own, raise our own, and make our own for as long as we can remember. People in the South reuse the same, aluminum foil on their pots and pans.
a well-seasoned pot and pan and have home remedies in jars without really calling themselves herbalist or sustainable. And that, again, is just part of that relation to the environment here. Lost my place. So yeah, these folk remedies of the South were really born into the world out of necessity and pragmatism. And most of the knowledge that I use and that a lot of other people here use today is a mix of indigenous First People, Black, and European settler influences. The South's melting pot of influences has really inspired my love of ethnoecology, which is very similar to ethnobiology, which is looking at how plants interact with each other, except we're really putting people into that model and seeing how we observe those relationships in nature and then interact with them. It is fascinating to me to learn about the ethnoecology of the land that we steward and live on, and I encourage others to do the same, whether in cities or more rural areas. When you learn what pre-colonial life looked like, you can really start to reflect on what changes cause certain adaptations in plants and people. And you can really begin to understand that most of the invasive species here were brought as useful medicines by settlers to have crops that they knew and could rely on. Plants have been adapting long before people and civilizations force them to. And this is really where what Roxy quoted from me earlier comes from, of the idea that for every human condition you can think of, there's already a plant out there waiting to help you. Some ideas of ethnoecology that are more common and that you might be familiar with are things like companion planting and the Three Sisters gardening practice. These are things that came about through observation and seeing that these plants already work together in relation. And so why not use those to support our food systems? So with the Three Sisters gardens, you have corn, beans, and squash. The beans provide nitrogen to fertilize the soil while also stabilizing the tall corn. Their roots help aerate the soil and maintain water retention. The corn provides tall stalks for the beans to climb so that they're not squashed by the big sprawling squash vines. And the large leaves of the squash provide shade and can prevent some of those more invasive weeds. So the idea of companion planting being that you are using plants that are already in that reciprocal relationship with each other. Some of the plants may ward off pests, whereas some may attract insects to help pollinate the fruits. Some may act as a decoy to pests to draw them away from more valuable or vulnerable plants. And again, these are things that you learn through studying these plant interactions. And when we're using them for our food systems, they become our interaction with the plants, which is the ethnobiology and ethnoecology. Traditional tending practices like these and things like slash and burn have historically supported habitat productivity for native species, contributing to their resiliency in constant fluctuating environmental conditions. This is one way that ethnoecology provides a sort of template for the current day cultural and ecological regeneration. Some questions that we should be asking ourselves are, do the current practices maintain human health, ecosystem persistence, and economic viability for generations to come? Humans have harvested and managed significant resources for thousands of years, despite high human population and fluctuating environmental conditions. This is sometimes something that I have to bring myself back into remembering when I start to feel really nervous about some of the aspects of where we are today. We have to remember that there have been major adaptations that us and our environment have had to make forever. But it can help to ask some of those questions to check in with what systems we're using that are working and which ones aren't. Understanding long-term cultural and ecological resiliency has a relevance
to modern day land use policies and can help inform development of an indigenous land management model that promotes both cultural and ecosystem resiliency in ecological restoration. So in a whole, what I'm gathering is that these are the things that really inspire my stewardship to the land and my practices. And I think it's something that we could all use as a concept, again, both in cities or in more rural areas, to really study the history of that place, the way people have been interacting with the land, things that worked that have sort of become outlawed that we could go back to, like the slash and burn methods, and just really trying to get back to some of those more traditional practices that have shown the test of time. An integral body of practical and spiritual knowledge that has evolved through the successful adaptation of an intelligent people to their particular ecosystem. I thought that was a really nice way to define that word. There is a professor that I really love that teaches about ethnoecology. I cannot remember her name right now, but hopefully it'll come back to me. And another quote that she said that I really enjoyed was, "Kincentric ecology is the manner in which indigenous people view themselves as a part of an extended ecological family that shares ancestry." And that right there, to me, is what it's all about. Viewing ourselves as an extension and as a part of the ancestors that surround us that have been here doing it long before we have been. I would love to talk about this with anybody if anyone has any questions about any of the things that I just said and sort of how to implement them. Ooh, yes, I will share that quote. And I know her name is Professor Stevens, but it's kind of a common name, so I'm trying to think of her first name.
Tori, are you going to keep looking for that? Or, oh, look, we have a raised hand from David. David, perhaps you know who we're talking about.
Oh, my raised hand was before that question. Pardon me, my hearing isn't tuned in yet. I wanted to mention to Tori that my honey Rosie and I are interested in having a garden be the part of the center of our life, and a place where we could begin to really have real evidence of, wow, is the environment flourishing? And so yeah, I would love to see in that space if you can provide us with any where to tune in, or if you can give us some more guidance there. We haven't begun yet, and I think it's going to be, well, it's in another country, in Portugal.
Nice. Yeah, my favorite advice to give people who are wanting to start farming or gardening on any level is, once you have picked your area, or maybe even before that, because this could really help you to pick that area, spend a lot of time on that piece of land observing what's already happening there. For example, the piece of land that we're on now, and what sort of helped us decide where our plot was going to be. We luckily have a creek on our property, which is such a blessing. So we're able to, as well as collect rainwater, pull some of the water from the creek when we're out of rainwater, which is really nice because it's pretty far from our house. And it's also on a piece of land that's a little higher elevation, because there's a lower part of that land that gets really bogged down and soggy every time it rains. And there little things like that you just would miss if you just moved onto a piece of land and you just, started tilling and just chose a plot based on what it looked like and the convenience for you. And then you might find those things out the hard way. So I just think it's really nice to spend time on that land, building relationship and observing the relationships that are already happening. Another example
being the plot that we chose, there's a lot of really beautiful wildflowers that are already there. So there's a lot of pollinators that are already there. There's a lot of birds that are harvesting the seeds that are dropping from all the more invasive plants that are there. And we're able to use all of those things to our advantage. So I just think that's the best thing you can do, is to really just spend a lot of time out there every day, listening to the birds and observing the insects and where the water rests and which direction the wind blows. I mean, all of those things are so important to where you choose to grow your food.
Thank you. Wow, that lands so deeply. I'm a builder. I've been actually focused now primarily on building infrastructure that is, really smart, really tuned in, and allows us the space in our lives to spend time on the land and spend time being the environment, being the community. So this really lines up with like how I build as well. When we begin the process to build anything, it starts with listening and really listening for the space of like, what does the land say? What do the plants say? What does the local community? What are the other generations of beings that are gardening here and have been have to say about this? Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that reminds me of the first time that I visited Iceland. I was on a tour with a friend, and they were pointing out that in between houses there would be these massive boulders or just these really weird looking misplaced areas of land. And the reason was that if you move or destroy those boulders or those little pieces of land to build, you're upsetting the fairies and the elves and the people of that land. And so they actually built their entire road system around that theory. And they believe in fairies and elves, and I sort of view them more as just the representation of all the sentient beings on a piece of land. But I thought that was really sweet that a whole country was on board with that, as far as building.
I'd love that. For me, it's pointing at the honoring of values, like really the orientation to us in our cultures to discover what's important to us and what do we truly value, and then orient here around that. So thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, I know you're coming to a close. I just, on that thread, Tori, about nature spirits, it's so fascinating to me personally with the land. You just spoke about the fairies and stuff, but the nature spirits, I don't know if you can comment on that with the time allotted left.
Yeah, comment on just general.
The nature spirits are Michelle Smallwright's and Findhorn, the way that they built their gardens in a circle. It was very specific with the nature spirits guiding them. I was just curious if that was something that was on your plate.
Oh, I don't know about that specifically, but it sounds very in line with everything that, I support and have been talking about. And I just think that those types of writings, like I think of Tolkien and a lot of those things, are such a good entryway for people to, again, view as sort of a representation of all of the entities. And I think for a lot of people, it can be more welcoming at first to have not simpler ideas, but these folk stories of the spirit people and elves and fairies. And then you sort of come into it on your own as like, oh, this is everything. This is all the little noises beneath the grass, above the trees, in the water, in the wind. And I just think that's so cool, because those types of folk stories exist in every culture across the whole world. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you for your work. It's really great work.
Yes, thank you.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to have to interrupt. I mean, obviously, this is something that everybody's interested in, and clearly, it's something that people want to talk more about. Is the spirits, you know, how the certain animas come to life when we listen to them. I remember the indigenous people in Colombia telling me that the water spirits did not like you to close the taps, which is completely counterintuitive. They don't like when you close the tap. Water doesn't like it. You have to keep the taps open. So what they do is that they open them just a little bit, and they have that thriller movie drip, 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 because music likes to flow. Very counterintuitive, and I know that you in this space will all enjoy Tori's company a little bit more. But because the train has to be on a schedule, and Roxy will give me hell if I don't keep it on schedule, and then Amanda will get angry at me, we have to keep this going.
We can though invite people into a breakout room with Tori if they want to continue to chat. So if you would like to chat with Tori, let us know in the chat, and we will scoot you into breakout room number 5.
That will be a very popular room.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at these questions now, so I'll try to answer them over there.
Excellent. And so we also would like to have Faith on stage right now to introduce our next guest.
Beautiful. I just wanted to say thank you so much, Tori. I love bringing in the ancestors as part of who we are, in essence of everything we do. A lot of what you said resonated with me. I'm really looking forward to looking more into it. Next, yeah, would love to visit your farm too. And next up, we have a beautiful folk mystical who also speaks about the trees. Her name is Neha Misra. I would love for you to join me on stage, Neha. Neha, are you in the audience?
I'm here. Hi, Faith. Thank you so much. And
beautiful. Let me share a little bit about you, and then I would love for you to share more. So Neha is a contemporary visual folk artist. She's a poet, an award-winning global climate advocate, and her Earth Stewardship-centered multidisciplinary creative studio fosters planetary healing through the power of diverse art forms. And if you haven't heard her poetry yet, it's such an incredible treat. So excited to hear from you. Thank you.
thank you so much, Faith. And hi, everybody. Welcome again on these continued journeys on our visionary train. Can we just together take a beautiful, heartful, soulful, deep breath as we continue? And join me, okay? Just take a really deep breath. If your breath wants to make sound, let it make sound. So great. So I'm really excited. I am going to share with you today the world, the earth, the intergalactic premiere of my poem, Sacred Tree Chants for Earth Renewal, which actually builds on this whole beautiful community garden that we have been planting and, speaking about today. So I'm really, really happy to be here. This poem you're going to see in a moment, and I hope Roxy and other folks, I hope I can share my screen. So if you want to make me a co-host while I share a few words about this poem. So this poem is a part of my Design Science Studio project, which is called Sacred Futures Reimagined, Sustainability Lessons from Ancient Tree Teachers. So this is my work on trees is really inspired by what are the ecological, mythological, spiritual, futurist lessons that we can learn from our ancient tree elders. And in this poem, you'll see a weaving of trees of the land of my ancestors, India, from which I feel a deep sense of separation and exile during this pandemic of last 2.5 years. I haven't seen my elders in such a long time, my tree elders and my elders in blood also. And while embodying, a lot of grief of separation, but also grief of these times our world is living through and dying through presently, I also recognized how much trees on the Turtle Island and my tree house home on the edge of Washington, D.C. and Maryland, how much I have been held. So this is really my ode to tree elders around the planet. And I want to give special thanks to whole of Design Science Studio team that has just encouraged me so beautifully to just go with my visions and to expand my horizons. So in addition to the poem, you'll see my magic tree land that is also part of my visual art practice. So as I share this video, please, I invite you again, take a deep breath and enter this tree land with me. Trees from India, trees from the Turtle Island, and tree ripples from around the world. And if you want to maybe behold memory of a tree or trees that are really special to you in your life. So here we go. Let me just it. Can somebody give me a thumbs up?
So Neha, we can see it, but it doesn't look like you shared audio. So if you click reshare and then click optimize for video.
Yes, let me do that. Okay, coming up now. Oops, wait. Oh, 1 second. I was going to say, tech goddesses, please be with me. And we are almost there. 1 second. Let me maximize my screen. One second, y'all. I'm just trying to figure out how to go to my big screen. New share. Okay, let's see. Yeah, you see it?
Yes, we do.
Okay, great. Here we go.
May we learn from banyan trees the creativity of growing aerial roots. May we learn from oak trees the engineering of inner depths withstanding violent storms. May we learn from neem trees the healing power of bitter medicines in fragmented sugar lands. May we learn from magnolia trees the artistry of unabashedly embodying our colorful magnificence. May we learn from coconut trees the tending of tenderness in the heart of hardness. May we learn from weeping willow trees the beholding of old grief, even as we sow new seeds. May we learn from tamarind trees the weaving of wide canopies made by dance of tiny leaves. May we learn from sequoia trees the regenerating passages of purging wildfires. May we learn from sandalwood trees the chemistry of preserving our fragrance through snaky entanglements. May we learn from birch trees the shedding of old skins for welcoming the future now. May we renew, may we renew, may we renew.
Great. So thank you so much, everyone, for receiving that. And here I am. Thank you for receiving, and thank you, tech goddesses, for your support. And here's to continued rides on our train. Thank you all for your presence, and thank you for your weavings. And whether you're new or old to Design Science Studio, connect with us. Our planet really needs all of us. So thank you so much.
Neha, my love, you clearly have a good relationship with those goddesses. I think to call them in and show gratitude is necessary, because I know how much stress we have had on previous occasions. So if you have a way of honoring them, showing them the reverence needed, I don't know, perhaps you have a way or a form, perhaps you have a suggestion how we could appease them so that we know that this whole interaction of ours continues in a very smooth and orderly manner. What would your suggestion be?
My suggestion would be to know that it is all good and to take deep breaths. It's all good. We have order through chaos, chaos through order. Inhale.
And exhale benevolence and gratitude onto them, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh, Neha.
I also suggest tree yoga. You can also make tree poses in your house and invoke tree tech goddesses. It's the worldwide network. Yes.
Which one? 3 poses. I had everybody, so that the goddesses of tech will. Very good. Excellent. Lovely. Neha, thank you very much. It's always beautiful to see you and to
And
feel
Neha,
you and experience you.
Can you explain to our friends what you're doing a little later as well?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'll be sharing a bit more about tree magic, art magic, our web of life. So I'll drop in the details of another room. Please come as it speaks to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Neha. You are such an inspirational sister, and I am so touched by the way that you constantly weave and amplify and remix and just bring so much color and light to everything that you do. You have a special little interjection of art to showcase right now together, and I wanted to do it together. I want to keep you here and have Jurgis maybe strum a little bit, because this is a fellow revolutionary who submitted a little bit of art for us to showcase, who's also from India, Jeet Gupta. It was a tie-dye shibori artisan and textile fashion designer who's pursuing his passion in the field for hand dyeing and using sustainable practices and materials, minimizing waste and creating new and redesigning and upcycling everything that can possibly be reused. So be together and hold a little space for our friends. Did I do the wrong one? Ah, okay, I'll start it again. Ready? Go. Nice. My friend Stephen Raspa says it's gotta be a little rough around the edges. Otherwise, it's a little too perfect. You gotta know that it's okay to fuck up sometimes. All tie-dye. Right? Yay! Should we do it again? Only a minute. Thanks for letting me know it was on the wrong screen. Thanks for holding this beautiful space for our brother Teet. Teet. He has so many fans here. So many friends, so much family. Because we're here on the Vision Train, and the Vision Train brought Jeet to the Design Science Studio. Jeet is here. Jeet, do you want to say anything? Say hi.
Hey everyone, thank you so much. I can't be grateful enough to the Vision Train, to Amanda Sage, to Design Science Studio for having me here and giving me this platform. And yeah, so for me, what takes me is to express artistically as for every creative person, and also to bring alive the craft culture within our communities and how we can empower each other, the creators and the experiencers. Together we create the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeet. I know it's very late where you are. Thanks for staying up with us. What time is it there?
It's around 1:20.
1:20? I'm so grateful for your art, for your heart. And now I will introduce Nick Marks, also known as Future Meme. So, Nick Marks is an artist who draws and then creates the future. He co-created the first digital creator economy, TurboSquid, in 1999. If you're nerd famous, if you're nerdy, then you might think Nick is nerd famous. In 2018, he minted the first NFT ever to mention the words metaverse, and currently he's co-creating Super Reality. We are so excited to get to geek out with you, Nick, and to have your mastery of taking complexity and making it accessible as a part of this collective.
Thank you, Roxy. So yeah, thank you guys. I pre-recorded a video of all this. I probably would have gone with a different vibe if I would have known Jurgis was doing guitar. I know Jurgis from Clubhouse. He's pretty awesome, but I had never been to an event like this, but it's awesome to learn just about the Three Sisters strategy. Like, that's cool, and you guys are also so beautiful. So I'm gonna hit play on this thing, and I just wanted and you guys, there's a video available, post in the chat. So thank you guys.
Hey Nick, did you click the share?
Have I not shared?
You're sharing, but there's but I can't see your audio is connected. So if you share, and you don't even have to take it off, you just re-click share, and at the very bottom left it says optimize for video and audio, so that it makes sure to share. That's a good idea. Audio,
let's do there. Optimize for video and audio. Boom. Yes, I'll even plug their glasses. They have really great glasses. All right, can you guys see? All right, let's try this. Hey guys, so yeah, thank you for having me. All right. Hey guys, so yeah, thank you for having me at the Design Science Studio and the Buckminster Fuller Institute. It's honestly no joke, or really, it's an honor to be here. I've seen beautiful ideas, beautiful artists here, and it's just cool to be invited. So thank you. And yes, I'll even plug their classes. They have really great classes. So this video's got to be 7 minutes. I've already gone 30 seconds. You can go see this video over at Super Reality, or the Super Reality YouTube channel. And in the video, it's going to link to this Figma file, so you can look at the artwork yourself and kind of peruse it as you want. And in the file, or in this file, you know, I've got a link to superreality.com. You can see the trailer. And I even have a link to our NFT white paper, which is ridiculous. It's an NFT meme white paper that, you know, we think we got a semi-solid plan for how to involve other artists and benefactors to help our project, but also help your own project. So check it out. Just go to YouTube and Google Future Meme Super Evolution on our Super Reality channel, and you should be able to find a video of this with links in the description. So I'm an artist. That's first and foremost. I'm an artist, but I'm also a developer. I co-created one of the first digital creator economies in 1999. And in 2018, I think I minted the first metaverse NFT with the word metaverse on it. That was pretty cool. So there's some art shops, and I'm going to talk today about kind of, I guess, a collection of a problem I've been solving, but over since 2015, honestly. And I think of my drawings as like almost like prototyping an idea. And once I've kind of gone through and proven to myself that that thing is a possibility, I can then go to the next level. It's like, cool, I've built that foundational layer. I can go to the next level. So yeah, this is called Super Evolution. I came up with that just a little bit ago. Okay, so in 2015, I really hadn't kind of settled on this idea of what super reality is. And its core, it's kind of making everything in reality have intelligence. But, you know, I was still really going up the learning ladder in 2015. And I put these in a semi-order of how I came up with it. But you've got, like, I figured out AR was going to be a thing. VR education was going to be a thing. AR, computer games are going to be a thing. And then I started getting into like more odd territories, like, you know, cameras allowing you to go into the ground, but also like, what does love and people look like in VR? Like everything, race, but then what are these augmented reality glasses are going to do? You know, you can see what everything is, know their names, you can look at them microscopically, see math, you know, experience the past. Like, I was like, oh man. And then I started getting into other stuff. I was like, oh my God, I can visualize all these wind patterns, pollution patterns, you know, smells, radiation, radiosity, even water in the air. And then it just was like, oh my goodness, I can actually, like, with VR and AR, kind of see all the dimensions. And so this was this line of stuff where I really tried to visualize what the technological future of reality would be. And then, you know, I got into this whole simulation hypothesis thing. You know, Elon Musk had kind of come out of the closet at that point. It was like, simulation hypothesis. Like, I've been thinking that for years. Thanks, Elon, for, you know, making it okay to talk about that. Anyway, I stopped at some point. This is my last thing. I'm like, whoa. There's a lot of AI here thinking about this stuff. And for whatever reason, I stopped. But then this magic moment happened where the Magic Leap came out. And I realized that, hey, oh, good. I've been thinking about the metaverse for a while. I think it's time to work on that. Like, if you went to the first LeapCon, it was amazing. And that's when I kind of, after using the Magic Leap, I realized that you could kind of simulate, and then later, okay, we could accurately maybe try to give nature and everything in a voice. And I called it Gaia. You know, Gaia means this personification of the earth. And started really like, working out these problems in my thing. But it was like, oh man, you can make animals talk, you can make people with disabilities who can't talk anymore still have a voice, babies, it was so many different things, and it was just all kind of flooding into me until like I was just really trying to like figure out what it meant and where we're gonna go. And I even like was very stoned and like scrawling out a 20-year plan, having planets talk. And then I kind of had this thing of like, here's the Earth and the way it was, and hoping what this new kind of view of reality could make for all of us. That was the core of it. And I just kind of went down the line over the next couple of years of like, well, putting stuff in series is maybe okay, but what if we put it in cats and cactuses instead, and gave them a voice? And I just really went down this learning ladder of like using sensors and being able to like have these things tell us why global warming is killing them, to could you kind of simulate some chatbot stuff based on IoT sensors with animals? Like, oh, you could totally do all that. And I just kind of kept on going, and then thinking about what a base reality would probably be needed, especially when we started inventing all these other virtual realities, and then getting kind of a recipe for it all. And I got 30 seconds left, and then really figuring out, well, what are the least fucked ways to create these collective intelligences, right? And how do you get everybody included in these things, and how do you get people to get paid for them, and what does that relationship look like, and what is it called, and where's it teach at, and why should they be open source, and what these transparent goals, that how do they function, what's their code, and what's it going to mean for everything. So I think I've kind of I'm at my 7-minute mark, so you're gonna have to see the rest here. I don't know, we're working this thing called Super Reality, and we're an open collective, a non-profit, open source Super Reality. And we need good ideas and good people to help us out so we don't screw up. And this is the art that I create. It helps me think about stuff. So thank you guys.
Nick, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you guys hear me?
We hear you perfectly. It's like the same voice. It's actually kind of eerie. For us, it's difficult to really know that was a recording. But let's do one thing. Because you wanted the opportunity to jam with me, and I always think that
I am not good at singing, man. I'm not good at singing.
You don't have to sing. Think David Byrne and Talking Heads, man. Once in a while, once in a lifetime, you may not have that $1 billion contract with Facebook putting up the metaverse, but things are still pretty crazy. And
I don't want that contract metaverse, man.
I know you don't, and that's why I just want to ask you a question. And if we can jam to it rhythmically, that's good. But actually, I'm intrigued. I'd love to get an answer from you.
Sure.
You are a person who has hindsight on the zeitgeist moment that is now, that is human evolution into the digital realm. Tell me how it differs. Like back when you were smoking a joint 20 years ago going, oh, it will be like this, it will be like this, it'll be amazing. Now that you're here, how is it? Is it cracked up all that you thought it would be? Has it fulfilled your expectations? Is it completely divergent from what you were expecting? Or is it something wonderful?
It's I live in a state of in the Hulk, he's like, I'm always angry. That's my secret. And then he kind of buffs out of that Hulk and hits the thing, that scene from Avengers. I think I always live in a state of artistic eustress. It's like, oh man, you can kind of feel the flow of reality and kind of listening to it, and just trying to vibe with it and be like, okay. And then also, I think a big thing is just really, I've been lecturing a lot on this, is using Mother Nature as your art director, or as the game designer. It's just like, you just want to trace what Mother Nature does really, really, really well, and do that. She's smarter than us, and it's like the stuff that you guys know, I think know that, but tech doesn't really know that well, and so there's definitely a disconnect. So it's about like just trying to holistically bring those worlds together, and just listening to it to see. I don't know. Does that make sense? But the moment's fun. I'll say that the moment's really fun. But man, we can't live in that moment. We got a lot of shit to do. Earth's on fire. So there you go.
It sounds like the conundrum keeps on being human despite all the technological advancements. And I guess that's a conversation that people can look forward to having with you, right?
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Sounds fun. I'm looking forward to it as well. Fun. And now, obviously, Nick, thanks for being with us. And now I would like to invite Faith on stage. Faith, can we get you on the stage with us again? Woohoo! I don't know. I think something occurred last time I hosted this because y'all realized how easy it is when you actually love the people in the space. All you need to do is shower them with praise, tell them how lovely they are, how amazing they are, and it's contagious. And now look at everybody wants to host and co-host. I'm so proud of myself.
Excellent. We love you too, Jurgis. It's such a treat to have you. You bring so much joy to the space. And music. We all need music. Next up, we have Della, who may be leaving us right now as we speak. Stay with us, please. Della is an incredible artist. She's actually shared her book with me. She's a beautiful visionary artist and storyteller. She's a member of the BFI community and a facilitator, mentor, speaker, designer, amongst many other things, I'm sure. She's really here to deepen her feet on the ground of Mother Nature and protect Earth, our planet. And she's builds on creative storytelling and collaboration. And she's got this really beautiful book. So ask her about it, please. It's really an incredible, heartwarming book. So please share more. Della, we love having you.
Thanks so much, Faith. Hey, I feel really privileged to be here with all these beautiful people, and
Della, can you speak a little bit louder?
I'll try to get closer. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm presently in Mexico, so my connection is a little unstable. But I hope I'll be able to get through this. I'm going to be doing this today, this 7 minutes, with Julian Ramirez, and we're going to be going through a Topia experience, and he's going to be co-hosting that. So I'll just warn you in advance, we're going to have him share screen at halfway through. So anyways, I wanted to talk about 2 projects. One is Earth Action. Earth Action, I helped create with Faye in the space camp, and it came together as a book that is about loving and protecting the Earth, and it's got activities, and it's got lots of things to do, including Buckminster Fuller activities, such as doing all sorts of games, the Dymaxion map being one, and his car and his all sorts of inspiration. But one of the activities in the Earth Action that I ended up doing with some of the people in this group is something I call the quilt for humanity, and this is a little drawing of the quilt for humanity. I was doing a workshop in Holland, and the woman there read me a poem called The Quilt of Humanity. And I thought, wow, we could make a quilt of humanity. So 30 different artists joined in creating this incredible image of what they wanted for 100% of humanity and all life. And 15 of those artists are from the DSS. So I'm really excited about that. I ended up making 3 pechakuchas, the Japanese storytellings of their art, and I have it in Topia. So that's kind of a cool thing. The link is in Topia. But the other book that I have been working on, because I write books and I paint my stories, is called Star Galaxy for the World. Star Galaxy for the World is a story that created it originally when I had cancer. And I worked on 7 angels of healing, and then they became the angels, the storytellers of healing. And those storytellers of healing all have messages for people to be more kind, to be more gracious, to be, creative, and all these wonderful things that we can become, which makes life more pleasant. So in thinking of what I was going to do with the book, first of all, it was a play in Japan, or the Miracle Galaxy was a play in Japan. And when I saw it, I said, hey, this could be for the world. But of course, COVID came along, and with that, it was like, oh my gosh, the live performances became less, the storytellings became less. And so I had to think of other ways. So unfortunately, what happened is Topia came along. And I started thinking, oh my God, I can actually share this story still in Topia. And so Julian and I and my husband, Dale Bertrand, created Star Galaxy for the World in Topia. This is the map of Topia, or the map of Star Galaxy for the World. And it sort of goes in a circle. I love mandalas. And so the journey is a circle. And at the top there, you see how you go around the mandala of the Star Galaxy, and how you meet the storytellers of healing, and learn the things that you can discover in Topia. One of the things, of course, I've been very involved in for many, many years is collaborations with different artists in the world, different theater groups, different musicians. And so I've included some of them in Topia. I have 7 links to 7 different groups that are performing, that are doing art. And so anyways, maybe we'll go into Topia, Julian. Can you share the screen?
Yes, I was having a little problem with my connection here. This is pretty much the map of the world. Hello?
Hi, Julian. We can hear you. And if you want to drop it in the chat, if it breaks, I'm happy to screen share for you.
I'm trying to share a presentation on my iPad.
It looks good.
All right. So this is the world that we created. This has been a really great experience, learning experience, working with Della and all the people involved. So we kind of mix here different media, 3D and 2D, and create that story that goes through these houses here. It goes like a circle and goes like this to this place. And it's basically a story about, like Della was saying, healing and transformation. So we use some of her paintings as backgrounds and the idea of creating this world. And we mixed those textures to some solids to create the houses or the places for the storytellers.
Well, we don't have very much stuff.
And we start like mixing those media and making some modeling for the characters too, to create some kind of depth. And we're working on this animation, which is going to be the sequence of going through those houses and receiving the stories and the healing teachings of these storytellers. And this 3D version, it's on. We're working on that right now, and I'm trying to go to the world right now, which I had a little problem before. But give me 1 second. I'm gonna drop in the chat too. Okay. So this is a world. slowly come here, it starts here, and you can just walk around this place, and then you'll see all the links to different artists and different exhibitions. And there are links around this world with videos and other presentations that have been made around the world in different kinds of media. So the idea here was just to create a different kind of access to other forms of art and dance and everything, using what we're talking about, these new worlds and new ways to present different kinds of art. So it's just an invitation to work around and check, oh, there's someone here already. That's cool. So just walk around. We'll be adding more links to videos and presentations, and a animation, which is like the final step of this project here in the DSS. And I have been really happy working with so many people here in the DSS. I just invite everyone to participate and maybe link your own words to this one and just share your art. There are so many ways we can do this.
The host would like to speak. Can you put it on?
Yeah.
Beautiful, Julian. Wow, that's amazing. Increíble.
Hermoso. Hermoso. Roxy, my love, my camera is not working at the moment, but I'm here. I'm present with you all.
Issues. Well, next we have Stephanie and Strupi, two of our favorite friends.
But I want. Can I say something nice about them, because I love them so much? Is it possible?
Yeah, that was your job. You remember how we talked about
that was my job. You see, but
like
my heart can radiate light without visual help, and I'm absolutely happy that, for example, the whole journey of the Design Science Studio has not only gotten me to witness the magnificent creation and creativity of amazing human beings, but also see how they get together and they create offspring. And this is one of those examples where two amazing creators have come together. And I've seen Strupi bloom, and I've seen how Stephanie, her perspective has brought so much more to what they're doing together. And so not only getting to experience artists, but seeing their evolution and also how they cross-pollinate and create beautiful, beautiful new things, for me is an absolute delight. The two of you know how much I love you. Mwah.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Yep, thank you.
Stephanie.
Yep. So I would like you each to look around the space that you're in. Okay, just have a look around and notice all the boxes, including the one you may be in. And also consider how many boxes that we've been putting ourselves into. Okay, and now I want you to close your eyes for a moment. And I want you to be in that special immersed place in nature where you can feel the light and the warmth, and look around and see if you see boxes. The rest of the non-humans build very differently using structure, as nature, Bucky, and Strupi have taught me. I came into the studio with an ongoing project called Wonder. We're a way for the cosmos to know itself. And it's an ontological life study, and I realized that most adults can't get there because the structure doesn't support it, or the majority of us. So I started working on a project called Tuning the Vessel, and at the base is integrity, which brings us back to structure. Within the DSS, I've come to learn that living systems are based on structure,
And as my cohort and fellow feedback systems cohort Stroopy will share, structure is not a box. The sun, the moon, all the planets are sphere, and we can learn that structure is sphere, and structure may be different and more inclusive than most education has taught us. So let's reconsider a sphere. We've been conditioned to believe that the box is structure, and we would like us to come back to the thinking of Buckminster Fuller, which is at the root of the design science studio and decade. When we dissolve the box thinking and come into our spherical nature, we can bloom and evolve as a species. Take it away, Stroopy.
Well, thank you. Thank you to all of us who are sphere with us. Thank you to Stephanie to introduce what we're doing and invite you all to have a look around your habitat for a moment. And you may notice that there is an overabundance in the anthroposphere, the sphere of humanimals, of, well, this, it seems. This, okay, now Curtis Lee Mitchell is screen sharing, so I don't know if you actually see what I'm showing, but if not, well, you can come back to the Bucky bloom later on, where I will be talking about this in a little bit more detail. This is the other thing most of us are conditioned to feel at home in. And you notice how there is something missing with these things. And if I wanted to make this into the thing that people tend to go back to when they made a mistake in their endeavors, you know, they always tend to say, let's go back to square one. And square one is a funny place to go to, because to get there, we already need to have more than that. And I'm going to put in a connection into this square, one that seemingly might not be so important, at least not in the way we've been taught to understand the world, but that helps a little with the square. If I hold it, oh, sorry. If I hold it now, it might almost be a square, but no, not yet. So we do have a second connection that is absolutely necessary to actually manifest that so-called square one. And once I have that put in, bear with me. It's a little bit fiddly, these things, you know, but it's worth the fiddling. Once I have those two connections in, we can talk about this becoming a square. But one thing we cannot say, which is that this is flat. It's not, because actually this is just a very weird transformation of this thing. And this very thing is the structure of space-time. This is the sphere, the first sphere among spheres that gives rise to all other spheres of life. And if we want to maintain our beautiful planet Earth that we have been grown from, that we came out of, and if we want to get back into healthy relationships with the whole of life, including ourselves, our true self, our self within and without, because only both of these make us whole. If we want that, we need to get back to where structure is at home, where the spheres roam freely and we all may get to an understanding of sphere and the universe that we live in, that we live as, which is very different from the ancient Greek of a solid universe and static space and linear time. Instead, we will get to one which is structured and balanced and conducive to all life, because life is relationship and it is triangulation. It is an eternal dance of spheres that come in many shapes. You know, they may look like you or me, they may look like the cat on my lap, or any other of the many, many, many incarnations of universe, but all of them are alive, all of them are you and I, our whole being, and we all belong to one another. And there is no reason not to recognize that, except that we have been conditioned to look at this wonderful universe through a framework of nonsense, which is now obsolete since Bucky has taught us differently. So let's come together and envelop and live in and hearten the way of the spheres and get back to our natural capacity of spherical thinking.
Woo-hoo! Thank you for breaking us out of these boxes, both of you. Did you have something else to share, Stephanie?
No, thank you. Yes, let's get out of the boxes.
That was
Stay
so,
sphere.
yeah, as we are in them so often, you know, we have to remember that we are such grander multidimensional beings in this experience. And so thank you for this reminder.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I love how you've helped us break out of that through the changing your in the screen, in the Zoom.
Yeah, that is part of it, because this really comes down to all spheres of our life. Whatever we are doing, whether it's art or books or computers or anything, we have been thinking it in boxes, which is evident and evidently not working too well. And what we are suggesting is that the way the universe is doing it at large is not in boxes, but in hexes and triangles and spheres. And those are all the same. And it is a great opportunity for us to transform our ways of living. And if you don't make it to the Bucky room later, or do, but need more time for this to sink in, please join us tomorrow at 9 a.m. PST in the Futurists Cafe for the Fuller Moon Day, which we've been doing recurrently every week to orbit together around the framework of spherical thought that we have to share.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you both. And
thank you.
Yes, such an honor to be with you in the first cohort. And I am looking forward to introducing Catherine Alvarez. And Catherine, hi, there you are. And
hi, everyone.
Hi, welcome. And Catherine is an explorer and a dreamer, and is a Colombian architect, now finishing her master's studies in landscape architecture in Germany. Special interests are in the link between art, landscape, and community, regenerative landscapes, and landscape perception. So we look forward to hearing what you have to share with us today.
Yeah, thank you everyone for being here. And I would like to share screen. I don't know if I can do it now.
Yes,
okay.
You should be able to now.
So just let me know if we already can see it.
Yes, sounds great. Looks great.
So yes. So yes, hello everyone. My name is Catherine. I'm from Bogota, Colombia. And yes, today I would like to share Paisaje Sentido, or meaningful landscape, as a research creation project. So thanks again for being here, and I hope you enjoy it. And first, I would like to start with this word paisaje as the beginning of my journey. I understood paisaje, or landscape, as in the reality that we are creating this moment, every moment. So for example, the paisaje, or the landscape of my last years, has been composed between the Latin American landscape, but also and my ancestral roots, the street life of the Colombian capital, but also the German structure and the functionality, or the rules and organization. So landscape is more than what we see, is what we live and where we inhabit. But normally, paisaje, or landscape, is understood as something seen outside from us, just as a contemplated view or as a panorama, but from that perspective, we have created our cities. And that weakens empathy and participation and isolates us and distances us from our own senses. That's why the problem that I'm working on is the sensory hierarchy in city planning processes influences the disconnection between humans, their senses, and their environment, in which directly affects the quality of the landscape experience. So then I asked myself how to create an integral landscape experience to be applied in the design of more sensitive cities or more sensitive spaces that influence regenerative cities. Yes, and for that, I just want to present short this methodology, which was organized in 3 steps. First, the theorize, and then I experiment some, and then creation or create. And paisaje sentido was a result as a concept, as an attitude, but also an alternative methodology for an integral landscape experience. And yes, I would like to start with why paisaje sentido as a concept. And yes, first of all, paisaje sentido focuses on promoting dialogues between the experience of our inner landscape. I understood that like our emotions or our interactions, our reflections, our thoughts and feelings, but also the experience with our outer landscape through our spaces and elements and materials and textures that open us a window to explore our senses and create new experiences that allows us to be more playful and curious in our cities. Yes, so there are 3 elements of the landscape experience here. We have the physical and spatial, the sensory interaction, and the subjective and emotional element, and those create the landscape experience. But we have to balance this experience to be more regenerative. That's why I work with the multisensorial design and design with the whole senses, which I'm going to explain in the following slides. Yes. So I just have here the tool and how it would be evaluated, of course, just to make sense. The materiality is important, the spatial qualities, but also how important is the bodily experience and the active determination in where we are in every landscape or in every space. And with that tool, we can measure the intensity level of the experience. But at the end, all of this theory is just to prove or to understand how the generative experience we can transfer it to a regenerative experience. And that would be just a rating regenerative system at the end. So I just have some examples here from a long list. I just choose 2. And when I was there, this is in the north of Germany, and I felt there that it was a really flat experience. I felt that the cold and the materials that were disconnected with the place. The materials there, I felt it was just the extension of the city in a natural landscape, and it doesn't offer a place to stay, to enjoy, to sit, and that's why this tool proves that it was a degenerative landscape experience. And on the other hand, I would like to show you how would be regenerative landscape experience. For example, this is in a community garden in Berlin. And the focus on this project is to offer experiences and curiosity and have multiple workshops and grow food together. And that's why these elements awakes curiosity and explores, and we can participate there. That's why we need more of those regenerative spaces in our cities. Yes. So paisaje sentido then would be those methodology. This is a really big concept, but this tool would offer to designers and planners to innovate into the design processes, just if we focus in our senses, just if we offer this option to combine what would be a city look like if we just put attention on what we see, what we smell, what we touch outside there. Yes, and I don't know if you can see it now. It takes a bit time. Yes, but the next slide talks about why paisaje sentido also is an attitude. And that's the main important point, because it's a purpose to reclaim our connection with the wild, with the intuition, with a deep intuition in our everyday lives, but also invite us to unlearn and to train our senses, to remember how it feels to feel, to touch, to hear, to smell outside, and to recognize the body as our own territory, but also to real-life architecture and the city as a laboratory of regenerative experiences. So the question I would like to share with you is how the city allows me to connect with my body, with my senses, and with the environment, and how active and aware I am in my own landscape experience, because we all have this option to just go there and feel and to experience in another way. So thank you very much. And just remember that we all have this possibility to transform these experiences.
Beautiful. Catherine, muchas gracias. I was born in Bogota too.
No sabía.
And ladies and gentlemen, to be honest, it's not the friendliest of cities, ¿verdad que no?
No.
No. I think anybody who's lived in Bogota understands the need for regenerative design and architecture and city planning, for absolute sure. That is a conversation I'm sure I would love to have with you, and I know many others would love to have that conversation as well. A big besito. Mwah. Thank you, Catherine.
A todos un beso. Ciao.
And I feel extremely fortunate now that I can ask to grace this stage with the beautiful presence of the Empress Diane. Diane, are you present?
I am present. Greetings. All
So
these
lovely.
faces, all these kisses are so beautiful.
So beautiful. So much love in this space. So much love. So much love.
So much
If
love
we
in-
express any more love, people might think that we're just a bunch of hippies. We should be very careful.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
That's what I said. But you know, a couple of sessions back, I called us all regenerative hippies, and some people took it to heart the wrong way. So I'm very careful. Very, very careful. But that said, I know my true nature. But I agree with you that we should be generous with our love, and I know that you have a lot of love for the next person who is going to take the stage. Is that right?
Indeed, I do. Thank you so much. Thank you, Catherine, for that invitation to the multi-sensory experience of our landscape and our city landscape, deeply resonant. Thank you for that. So, beloveds, I would love to introduce you to Pamela. I'm just going to pull up my notes here. So I have Pamela and the name Garioli here. Roxy, is this aligned?
Yes.
Perfect. Good. So Pamela is an artist and fabricator focused on using the components of reality to make something.
Hey, Kate, sweetie.
Yes.
There's this kind of event.
Can we all mute, please? Thank you. She sold leftover scraps into furniture, unplanned moments into photos, videos, and is planning today's visions into tomorrow's regenerative economy. Welcome, Pamela.
Thank you. So I see films as our collective consciousness. They shape our understanding of what is possible and what is real. So I'm making a film that will provide instructions and inspiration for our collective to transformation towards the regenerative economy. And I will share the screen. Here we are. It's a film titled I Am Mother Earth, and it is divided in two parts. In the first part, we have an inspirational message that comes directly from Mother Earth. She's taking over the management of the planet and offering everyone the possibility of becoming a citizen of the new Earth system. She's showing how she can create a brand new infrastructure using a transparent regenerative token ecosystem. Her investment have a single goal: to balance the atmosphere while regenerating resources. She is claiming sovereignty over what hasn't been colonized, like the ocean, to start cleaning up waste and building alliances on land. She will start with the indigenous communities, as one of her plans is to expand the forests. Every product will have a scannable labels that shows a percentage of regenerative practices that went into the making of it, to give full freedom of choice. For this, she needs as much information as possible from us, so she will buy our personal data to also give each one of us some initial wealth to participate in the new system. She's going to need a lot of help. She needs farmers to regenerate the soil, fishermen to steward the oceans, scientists to analyze, engineers to innovate, artists to document and inspire, healers who focus on wellness, and educators to expand consciousness. She is hiring and she's giving a lot in exchange, including truly participatory decision-making. This is the new world, and everyone is invited. Okay, now for the second part of the film, it's just a bridge to gap between that vision and our current reality. The film has two main characters who are discussing the message, and their dialogue is sparked by an NFT artwork in a VR gallery where Mother Earth message is exhibited. One of the characters is a hotshot CEO of a making investment company, a woman who foresees this regenerative future and wants to steer her portfolio in that direction. And the other one is a working class immigrant who just opened her cooperative for women carpenters. As the conversation unfolds and heats up, the film shows the viewer how we can come together from diverse perspectives to build a cohesive, united future. After this exchange, the two characters go on to integrate Mother Earth's lessons and their lives, joining the New Earth platform, owning their own data and sharing it with the system, and building the future one step at a time. So here is my call for artists that would like to participate. So I'm looking for creative partners, donors, to put this vision in reality. And so, like I'm planning to spend the weekend of the Revolutionary Challenge designing Mother Earth character in 3D for New York City. So I'm gonna probably need illustrators, animators, and then for the 2 weeks challenge, I'm looking for a 3D architect to build the VR world where the characters in the film meet. I would love to link all of your projects throughout the narrative of Mother Earth message, which will be playing at the entrance of the gallery in the film. Inside, there are portals to different thematics like jobs in a new world, public library, farming, rewilding, wellness, education, and any other project that can be illustrated in these immersive rooms. There are endless possibilities and connections, and I invite everyone who feels the project fits in the story to get in touch. I know someone is doing labeling, some is doing mapping, work on crypto, information data, and maybe you have some visual work that you want to sneak in. So please reach out if you are inspired in any way and to participate. I will just even a link to your project. And And in the meantime, I will want to organize a meeting slot in the Futurist Cafe to co-work on the message, script and visual. And if you want actively to be part of it, we can decide the schedule together. Also here, I'm interested in illustrative writers, philosophers. And as far as we go ahead, I want to finish the script, and but also my other idea is to make it possible for Mother Earth message, the first part of the film, to be continually developed by contributors, so that it can expand and find new links between utopia and reality, and make it a game on how to save reality. And thank you very much.
Pamela, it sounds like a very ambitious NFT.
Yeah. It would be nice to have it broken down in several NFTs, you know, like all around the gallery. You know, it will develop in some way, many directions.
Of course it will. Can I ask you a favor? Can you take off the screen share? One second. Because I need to check your visionary pedigree. Here, take off the screen share. I need you to get close to the screen. I need you to get a little bit closer, Pamela. I need you to open your eyes wide. Open them wide, wider. Come closer. Look into the camera. Look into the camera. Yeah, clearly you have vision, woman. Of course you do. Of course, look at that. And I know Amanda Sage is here, which is also one of the most visionary human beings. Right? Right? Does she have that twinkle in her eye? She's got the twinkle. What would you say?
I would say that presentation was just really entertaining and really, you know, open up my eyes even further. And I would say, you know, you might find some interesting artists on the Vision Train that might want to collaborate with your project. So I'd reach out, you know, because I mean, this is part of the idea, you know, we're going to link our train cars together. And I think everything about what you are dreaming up here is what we've got going on too. So it's just so nice to find each other.
Good.
To find each other and to feel at home with one another. I am always mesmerized. So happy to be on the same screen with you, Amanda, as well. Pamela, thank you very much. Mwah. We're going to now give a little bit of space, right, to another one of our super most favorite human beings on the planet. Is that right? Is that right? Is that what's going to happen right now?
Oh, yes. Everybody get ready. We have a very special guest on the train today in the Design Science Studio. And we had so much fun last year making art and going through the portals of reality and multiverses. Mel, what do you, I mean, I'm excited to see what you're going to share with us today. It's been a while since I've seen you. And
I feel like it's all home week. It's great. Everybody seeing all these familiar faces and all these great new faces. Oh, I just feel like overwhelmed. Yeah.
Amanda, would it not be in order to ask what Mel is with us today? Because there are several iterations of Mel, and you know, sometimes it's not a clear tell. So maybe we should ask which version of Mel is going to cast the spell today for us. Oh well, oh well.
Okay, well, as most of my friends from DSS know, that I part of my project last year was to create this kind of cruise ship where populated by a kind of rather eccentric captain and a lot of different passengers and crew members on the thing. So today we have Grant Wood, not W-O-O-D, W-O-U-L-D. He's an artist from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, who happened to get on the ship because, I don't know, he was just going to take a cruise, and then because of COVID and other things, the ship, he was on the Love Boat, but he thought he was getting on the Love Boat, and instead he got on cruise ship Earth, which was the DSS Fuller, a cruise ship that was dedicated to sailing around the globe and finding problems that needed to be dealt with and ways to make life better for 100% of humanity on the planet. And so he decides he has to change from being an artist, just solely all about himself, to being someone who is more open to ideas, and a big part of it is a big part of his interest is recycling. Yes, Jurgis, it's so great to see you, because all the time I'm here, I was here, you were always showing us the process. You weren't playing songs for us. You were showing us how to write a song. You were making the song happen in front of us, and I learned a great deal from that. And so Grant Wood, who we'll go to see him, and he's in the other side of the studio. So let's just go say hello to him. He's in the other part of the room. Oops, he needs his mouse. He needs his mouse. Okay. Okay, here he is. Now let's look at speaker view so I can see myself gloriously. Okay, so here I am in my virtual studio, a portal to the world, and I'm Grant Wood on this side of the camera, and they gave me, a cruise ship has it's supposed to be full of things to do. And one of the things they do is they have a whole library of jigsaw puzzles for people to work while they're riding on the cruise ship, of course. But they were all broken. I have hundreds of jigsaw puzzles studies up there in the storeroom that they gave me for a stateroom. And so I had to make something of them, but many were old and broken and missing pieces. But I remembered something. And I'm going to show you, because I'm going to, let's see, share screen. Okay, here we go. No, wait. Okay, I'm sorry. This technology for an old artist like myself is not the easiest thing to manipulate. So let's see. Here we go. Google Photos. And puzzle pictures, and there we go. Okay, now I go back to and it shares the screen. Okay, this screen, here we go. All right, as an artist, Grant Wood looks around him to see what materials he has to work with, and he sees all these discarded jigsaw puzzles, a lot of missing pieces. No one wants to work a puzzle that he doesn't have one piece missing. So he takes these puzzles and he remembers a childhood memory. It turns out that when he was a child, he had a set of airplane puzzles, and they were flying in different directions. And he found that they had the same stamp of different pieces, so he could put them together and make midair crashes. And that little 10-year-old terrorist grew up to be an artist. And the artist remembered, oh, yes, manufacturers make puzzles that have more, they make more pictures that all have the same stamp, but they just put them under a cookie cutter. So he had this idea. to take some pieces from one and move it to the other. And then he came up with this solution. It's not cut in any way, it's just mixing the two. It's various ideas that he's mixing two jigsaw puzzles to make new jigsaw puzzles. And it seems to him like an idea about recycling, a way he can connect with cruise ship Earth. He can connect because he is able to recycle things into new artworks and teach people about the process of looking at resources and saying, what was a dead end activity? Most of us think of a jigsaw puzzle as just like a waste of time. It's a good waste of time for many people. They enjoy doing it, but they think of it as a pastime. But how can we make something like that into a new resource? How can we take some wasted thing and make it new again? Like mixing the pieces, like I did with these 3 puzzles of paint by numbers. They are one of a forest and one of a desert, and he makes a kind of story from them, like the forest, and then the civilization enters the forest and it starts to disappear, and strange desert-like happens, and then the cactuses grow, and then finally we have a depletion of resources. So telling a whole story like a storyboard from jigsaw puzzles. And now he's looking at new ways to combine them to make, I don't know, I look at this one, I see a kind of face in the middle of the picture there, maybe even a large dog with an eye near the top there. Or even this one, which is 5 feet by several feet. The whole idea, and I'm going to stop sharing the screen here, the whole idea is that we need to look at all the resources that we have and stop thinking of them as products and start seeing them as processes for coming up with new ideas, and to study our learning process. Look at things from a different direction, turn things upside down if we have to. We can even be upside down ourselves. We can work with ideas for green screens and other kinds of reality. We can play with the combination between the real and the virtual until we get some happiness, so we get some connection with mixing that old world physical reality and a new kind of virtual reality, a mixture of things. So that's what Grant would like you to do in the future. And that's why I'm glad you gave me a couple of seconds here to show things off. And I'm going to pass things back to Jurgis, one of the famous person in the world, and hi Roxy and Amanda and everybody. I'm so glad to see you all again.
Lovely, Mel. Such a pleasure. You know, if you're Mr. Wood, I'm Mr. Did.
Have been there, done that, Mr. Done That.
We go hand in hand. So lovely. Ladies and gentlemen, can we get a lot of love for Mr. Melandringa? Lots of love for this fine gentleman. Amanda, from what I hear is we are going to go into an orientation right now. Is that absolutely correct, or do my eyes deceive me?
We are. We're missing Vincent, though. Vincent, where are you? Oh, there you are.
Hello, I'm here. Hello, everyone. All right, so today has been awesome so far, and it's about to get better. We're Jorgis, you want to jump in first?
No, just agree with you completely.
Cool. So my name is Vincent, and I'm the founder of Trove, which is the platform that we're hosting the event on today. And one of the sort of missions of Trove is to help people find their path to action. And so as part of that, I'm going to be your guide and showing you how to choose your own adventure and give you a little bit of a preview of how to explore the event page. So, can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. So I will post the link to this, or if anyone else can, it would be great, to the event page in the chat. So when you start scrolling down, there's going to be a little header bar at the top. So you can check out all the different people that are featuring, or you can go right to the agenda. So we are basically at this point where there are going to be a lot of different stages or Zoom rooms happening at the same time. And so you guys get to kind of pick and choose where you want to go. To give a brief kind of overview of the different rooms, I'll start with the vision train. That's where we are right now. So you can stay in this room and you can see all the presentations that are coming up in the vision train. The vision train is about interactive art, sensory experiences, dance, movement. Then we have the Futurist Cafe, where I'll be presenting. And the Futurist Cafe is kind of flavors of this room, is like learning from systems designers, architects, technologists. This is about the different social and technological innovations that are looking towards the future of our economy. Then there is Dissolve, which is about stories and experiences for personal and planetary regeneration. And you can see the different presentations in each one of these sessions here. You can also click on them to basically see a preview. And then the links to join each session are this purple join button. Or if you go back to the stage, there's also a join button here. So that'll let you kind of navigate to the different Zoom rooms. Then Create Habitual is space for movement, embodiment, singing, breath work. And Bucky Bloom will explore the world of emergent art, design, and new technologies. There's going to be things about zero waste fashion and collaboration. And then Beaming is about the new cultural narrative for humanity. So these are the different main kind of paths that you can take. And you can also see all the different sub-events. If you check this show stages on the calendar view, it'll show the stages, but this is going to show all the individual events. The other thing is there are different ways of viewing the information. So if you want to kind of explore, you can go to the gallery view and you could pick topics that you like. So like, for example, I'm interested in art and architecture and data. And so this will show the presentations that are in those categories. And then what you can also do is search for a specific presentation. For example, let's say I wanted to go to the Climate Action Game Show. You can open up these cards and watch a preview.
Hi, my name is Jenny Gottstein, and I'm an experienced designer in Ideas Play Lab, and I'm designing a climate action game show.
So if you want to get a little taste of what's going to be inside, each one of these pop-ups has a description, and then some of them have little trailer videos. You can also filter by the session category. So if you know that you wanted to check out things that were in Beaming and the Futurist Cafe and Regeneration, then you can filter by the session as well. And then there is a timeline view as well, which will kind of stack all the different times that are happening all on top of each other. Additionally, if you guys want, you can see all the people who are featuring, and these also will show links to those people's presentations. So I am going to stop screen sharing now and I'm going to put the link in the chat and prompt everyone to open this link up and start exploring. Roxy, do you want to just chime in to what time we will be coming back to the main room, which is the vision train?
Yeah, so for those of you who decide that you want to explore other rooms, then you should make your way back here by 2:30, I believe. Let me double check. 2, because we're a little late. Looking like that is about right, like 2:40, something like this. So wiggle your way back here, or if you're wanting to stick around and you feel good in here, Max is going to do some dance magic. The Empress is going to lead the Ubuntu Sphere Artlist experience. We're going to see some amazing art. Raphael is going to lead Future Food. I mean, there's so much good stuff happening everywhere. So this is a really fun time. So before we jump into the next thing, Jurgi is going to play a little ditty while everyone chooses their own adventure. And I really encourage you, because there's a lot of great, brilliant, magnificent humans out there waiting to be adventured with.
A ditty.
A ditty.
While they decide, while they take their decisions and they wonder.
Maybe a celebration
it
ditty.
Feels like one of those parties. You want a celebration and a ditty?
And a ditty, and because all of that exists because of Vincent. Let's just give a round of applause. Vincent, who just literally hand designed that entire platform. Yay! Vincent, you are a ninja. Woo!
Brother, your microphone is muted.
But we can hear the guitar. Yeah, Vincent.
Still only the guitar, my friend.
He wants you to sing.
To say was that my microphone went off for a second. But what is my voice in such a space when there's so many other beautiful voices here that can and
Have you opened the link? Are you reading away? Good. Open the link. Again. Sure, go for it.
Is the link, is the dissolve and bloom link?
Yes, Nora, that is the link. The Catalyst Network in the chat. Yes, that is the full schedule.
And then you click on cognitive dissonance with the music.
I know, it's crazy.
when
you're here,
fantastic job. I'm amazed at how you can improvise with your ancient indigenous instruments in this most square and very boring world, tuned to 440 most likely, when you're still tuned to ethnic and old school tuning of the universe.
And that will take me to a different platform?
We'll take you to a different Zoom, yes.
It will take you to a different platform.
And then you will come back when you're done. So all of these are different Zoom rooms. Some other platforms.
A different Zoom. There's a room where you'll find your brethren and your sister, and they'll be mingling, they'll be having fun and talking.
Hello, I'm Kami, and I'm asking you to come play
Kami
with
will
me
join
over
us
at
as
my
well.
sexuality
We
workshop.
can see her
We're gonna
sharing.
break down the tools of all our senses and
Break
understand
down
a
the
little bit more
tools of our senses,
today.
If you want to hang with Kami Romero, you just press join, and that's quite okay, because I might just press that join. And if there's someone else you feel that resonates more with you, well then it won't be the last opportunity you get to jam with these beautiful human beings.
Does that make sense?
Roxy, would you like me to keep playing this celebratory ditty, or am I just annoying the crap out of you?
No, you're doing great.
I think take it personally. I won't take it
Yay. Well, one thing to say is that we are a little behind schedule. So if there's something you're like, oh no, it just ended, it probably just started. Good luck, or good luck. Good news. We are a little late. That's okay. We're doing great. Everyone's doing freaking awesome. We should probably get started, but we are streaming. So what we're going to do is, if you're out there in the world of the universe, we invite you to come in here, because we cannot stream 7 rooms at a time. So you should support the artists, support the magic, collaborate, co-create, do the good thing. And if you're feeling like you need a break in the multiverse, then go outside and touch the earth, and we'll start the stream again in about 2 hours. So, all right. So you don't have to do anything, Amanda Sage. I'll turn the little lever off over here. And Jurgis, will you introduce our dance magic friends?
Our dance magic